This what you zoom.
But this someone is on that.
That's the ladies one. So that they can done. They are going to that side now, so we can get them. So let's get them as they are coming. They're going to come from here. Let me see. It doesn't fall in. Yeah. Nice, nice.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That's fine. Is it too close? It's not 20, it's 24. I mean, you can walk with it. It's still okay. It's the same with too wide.
Sometimes it's always very. As I came outside, I already repeated came out to my face.
Okay. I want to go inside. Oh, yeah. Don't be there. Don't try don't be there so they can hear what. They can't hear anything. Yeah, you can't hear anything. Okay. You know you reduce the volume before. You can hear now, yeah.
I saw you when you walked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another work box for you. Shola, I can get it. Yes. Shola will.
Okay. Yes.
Ahora, my mentor, I will dance. This one I help them. Are not very necessary. No, I don't. Don't plan out this. I put this on up. Absolutely. My legs. I swear. I carry them. I just go drop them before. And my hand is very hot. Maybe your shoe. Maybe your shoe. Wait down. Please get some. Are you trying to get some aerial view? If you can raise your hand as high
Yeah,
as
I did that inside.
because I want like very nice high view. With the 24th. Yeah. I know if you can raise his hand up. See something. The white hand for them. They don't do it to the pilot.
Sorry.
Massive headache, like, I don't know whether I make I go take that medicine or I got to wait till I make it. The boy my own the best one. Dance. Oh yeah, the yeah.
I am the person who don't say the new person.
I ain't be the new.
New person.
So the guy knows an issue.
So non the editing.
All these are my guys. I got the photographer and my colleague. Then the guy on the videography, that's part of my team. That's part of it. I would have been shooting, but I want to actually stuff. Yeah, so that's how I have to do it. No, rent it. Like 3 million now for rent 35. 35 seats. I don't know what you for 1 day now. Lens. No, you still rent lens. How much they rent gimbal? I think lens is 20K. Then gimbal is 15. Altogether, like I sent 60,000 for the rent. For 1 full day now. Yes. I'll return it tomorrow. Are you getting some help? Are you getting help? Seahawks. You can talk to them, let them give you some answers. Yes.
So we're coming
I think we can get some people highlighted at the side for some individual shots. Yes. So let's talk to them. Let's start. Get your shots here, just like this. Yes, yes. Just smiling to the camera. It's just you, man. I'll have that here. Just like.
But why me? Why others?
Okay, we can stay here and still get. Just smile and. All right. Let's start with them. So you can just say this. They can wait.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah,
I don't want to compare, sir.
sorry, sir. Do you mind if you just wave to us? Let him just get a shot. Yeah. Sorry, sir.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, let's go on. Yes, yes. Just like iSI. Yes. It's fine. I can hold this. I can hold this so you can wait.
Okay, thank you.
Just wave.
Just my camera and wave.
So you can wave to me. Yeah. You happy, right? All right.
Oh, yeah, that was perfect.
Yes, ma'am. All right, let's have the mommy. All right, same. Wait. Okay, main just okay. Enter. Wait. Claire, let's come with them here. All right, well, please just wave to him. I know. Okay. You don't get down.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, man.
Oh.
Let's get some other people. Can get some other people before they go inside. Yeah, let's you come. All right, watch. All right, let's get her. Come, can take from here. Yeah. Can take from here. Yes. Just clean it like that. Yeah, let's get them. All right, try one more. You're putting them already.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get them.
Just like this.
Just have the interaction.
Okay.
On you can get some lunch or okay. I think they're going in now, so.
And then what the problem was? And that.
What? Can I taste? Let me see if I can taste. Sorry. I know. Not really nice. Just looks nice.
I can say that's really nice. I didn't like the other thing.
Right. Thank you. Got some of your shots, I mean. Got some of your shots. Your shots don't feel confident to be about it. Dance. Dance. Papa, I think I see something outside. Let's get them. Let's get them. Let's get them.
And I think it's a lot of people giving credit.
No, because
They got it well.
All right, we're ready. That's actually very manage your battery and start of the out, you know. They start properly. Okay. I think it's best from the sound because of this.
We'll make our way back inside. So we kick off. Thank you so much.
Just a minute. I just
The next working time is karaoke, speakers, looking at Thank you very much. It's free speaking, please speak for the chairs on my left. Okay. Thank you all so much for coming. Welcome to a very good evening. Welcome to our iSI event in Lagos. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce our MC for the day, Mr. Lulu Falachu. He's a seasoned radio professional. He's a very familiar voice of Fresh FM Ibadan, where he anchors the morning show Freshly Pressed every day. His work reflects a strong grounding in public discourse. Complementing this, Lulu stands as the assistant general manager of Last FM Ibadan, the urban sister station to FM Fresh FM. In this capacity, he plays a key role in shaping content direction, talent coordination, and station identity. He also co-hosts the Afternoon Belt, the Blast Lounge, a program known for its balance of entertainment, insight, and contemporary conversation. Beyond radio, presentation, and management, Lulu is the voiceover artist, bringing clarity, texture, and professionalism to commercial events and broadcast productions. His command of voice and timing is not accidental. It is a product of intention, discipline, and respect for the power of sound. Back. Whether behind microphone in leadership or in creative execution, Lulu approaches media as a responsibility, one that demands credibility, thoughtfulness, and presence. Ladies and gentlemen, if your hands are not busy, can we have our MC up? Lulu.
This is the first time I'm calling her Mrs. Umi. Usually I call her Auntie Umi. Some other time I call her Mom. So thank you so much. I know this is a formal event, but of course it's right that I do the right thing and follow you for who you are. So I call her my mom. Once again, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It's a pleasure having you here with us. Of course, I'd like to start by saying thank you for showing up. Not just by showing up for the event, but showing up for an idea. An idea that says talent should not be limited by circumstances. An idea that believes that education is not just a privilege, but a shared responsibility. So tonight, beyond the speech, beyond the presentation, tonight we'll have a story. A story that reflects a vision, one that reflects resilience, and one that shows what is possible when people choose to invest in people. So over the course of tonight, you will laugh. Over the course of tonight, you will reflect. But more importantly, you will see how real lives are shaped by opportunity. On behalf of iSI, we're glad that you're here. Once again, a round of applause for yourselves. As always, I formally call this event to order. But without further ado, let us start with the opening prayer because it's important we have things for God in prayers. And so I will start by calling on Mr. Shegun Olujobi for the opening prayer. A round of applause. Thank you very much. Can we pray? Father in heaven, we thank you for today. We thank you for the grace that's brought us here. We thank you for your mercy that's been plenteous upon us all. We thank you for the vision behind the iSI initiative and the vision. We thank you for the board of trustees and all who are associated with this initiative. Father, my God, we commit this evening into your hand. We pray that your hand will be upon us, and that this will be a successful event, and that iSI will go on to be even greater. Thank you, Father. In Jesus' mighty name, we pray. Amen.
Thank you so much for the prayer. I do know we are starting a little bit behind schedule. I do know we have a breakdown of the program before you, so we'll try as much as possible to ensure that we're finished by 8 p.m. I'm the guide for the show tonight, so I say show because I'm usually on radio for the event. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. A few times I might use a few terminologies that's hard to radio. Hey, I'm already taking your time. Let's get to it already. Of course, what's a program without any joy in it? That's one program. Not too many times we don't want to be a part of. So to set the tone for tonight, please make welcome our comedian for tonight, Akan Nath. Thank you. A round of applause, please.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to put your hands together for yourselves. Please put your hands together for yourselves. Thank you so much. So, good evening, everyone. Thank you for replying. For those that didn't reply, please, I wasn't calling for your attention. I get respect. I'm actually greeting. They treat you well. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. My name is Akan Hussein. Everyone calls me Akan Laugh. I'm a comedian, master of ceremonies, and also an OAP. Yes, I think today is all about the radio people. Yes. For those who live in Lagos and listen to Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, you must have heard me either doing the news or giving traffic updates. Now, talking about traffic, how many of you were stuck in that traffic coming from the mainland to the island? I had to come down and pass through Obalende. And in Obalende, that's like part of Lagos Island. I almost became like I said, they told me to move my shoes. I walk bare feet. Yes, you have to, I was now walking like as if I'm a celestial member, but we thank God for everything. Now, talking about traffic, have you noticed there's something I just sat down and maybe because it's part of what we do, Lagos Traffic Radio. I noticed the kind of things you see in traffic will determine if that traffic will move or clear fast. Think about this. If you're in traffic and they're selling things like bottled water, gala, it will clear up fast. But if you're in traffic and you see them selling things like artwork, dog, you go take for there. Yes or yes. Now, still talking traffic. Okay, so Lagos Traffic Radio, we talk about traffic all over Lagos. Now, I want to see how well you know your Lagos. I'm going to be calling the alphabet. We'll be running from A to Z, and let's see how well you know places in Lagos. How well you know places in Lagos. Now, let's start from A, because someone was arguing with me. I said for every letter in the alphabet, there is a place in Lagos. So, which place do you know in Lagos with A? Aja. Okay, not far. But it's far because of hold up. Anywhere else? Ajegunle. Agege. I'm talking about Agege. Do you know? I stand to be corrected. You know Agege is the safest place in Lagos. I'll prove it to you. Now, do you know the place called Abulegba? That's another A. If you're coming from Abulegba and there's a road called Okoba. You go straight down. There's a place called Abattoir on the left. Abattoir, there's a police station there. The name of that police station is Abattoir Police Station. You go front again, you see another police station again, Railway Police Station. When you get to Agege Total, if you pass the railway, there's another police station there. All this is within 1 kilometer. Another police station, that one is Penn Cinema Police Station. Come back, go this other way. The streets behind, there's another one, Elere Police. How many have I? 4. Now go forward, just before you get to Capitol, still within that 1 kilometer, you see another police station. Down is Isokoko Police Station. How many? 5 police stations. And you're telling me it's not safe. There was a day I was coming from an event. They dropped me around Penn Cinema very early in the morning, and I was just about to pass that railway. It was the police officer was telling me, "Don't pass there. They are robbing there." I kid you not. Serious. You know, so that's just A. How about B? B? Bariga, great one. But that the entire local government. C? Sustain. Yeah? Don't let me say that. No, I went through a lot today. Okay, G. D, G, don't fail. E, Egbeda. You know, don't do something wrong. E, A, don't do something F, F, Fagba, okay. Festa, okay. G, Bagada, okay. H, Papakoli, I, Ikondo. I has the most places in Lagos. Yanopacha, Ileko is a commonest bus stop. There's always Ileko something. There's Yano something. There's always Yano something in Lagos. Yano Brown, Yano School, Yano Doctor. There's always Yano something. J, Jibo, K, K2, L, Kilo, L, Lancaster, very far, L, Ladipo, the spare parts people, M, Mushi, Magodo, Mangoro, okay. I think I left N, don't tell me new road. Okay, there's a place in Ekpe called Noforija. Yes, N, O, N, O, Ogombo, Ogbadi, Ogba, okay. Okay, P, Pensinima, well done. Q, any Q? Queen's Drive, actually. R. Abarando. Ribadu. S. MES. Shomolu. T. Snake Island.
CBS.
Snake Island. Okay, T can.
CBS.
Can. Okay. I think the hold up. How's the hold up there now? See, you, any you. University of Lagos. I was somewhere that did this. I was always at under bridge. Which of the under bridge? No, but we have you. We actually have you. Okay, how about UBA house? How about that's what I had. It's not a place. It's not a bus stop. Okay, look for bus stop for me. Look for a place with you. You. I just said you. Unity. Oh my God, we all know you. You will not see shame. Unity. Okay. V. Victoria Island. Obviously. There's a place called Vespa. Who knows Vespa? On Lagos Badagry Expressway. There's still on that stretch. There's a Volks. There's Volks. Okay. W. Any W. Wilma. Nice. Any other one? Okay. X. So, is that the one in China?
Idea was
X. Small X. Strong. Okay, so learning moment. Now there's a place called Xerox, yes. Around that Kappa, thereabouts. Yeah, you know this. Then Y for obvious Yaba, then Z. Where's that one? Okay, so there's Zatek Road, used to be called Ecosystem Road. That's a big attraction. Yes, that's it. And that just takes for those from Seminole within to put out the Way. Yeah, so what does that for yourself? You know that? Why did you say that? You need to figure that. And I can simply say, see Christmas season. So we just wish somebody a Merry Christmas. Yes, no. You know, Christmas, like when I was young, it was simpler. Things were simpler. You know, just Christmas, they have to sing carols. Like my mom, then she would buy oversized for us because we wanted to go into it. You know, also my clothes since like August, you know, thereabouts. My mom would get oversized shoe for me, the package, you know, things were just simpler. Even the way when visitors come to our house, you know, and they eat them, they entertain them. They give them things to eat or drink. Even though if you use someone to give us, you know, then what we had this non-verbal communication. My mom or my dad would just look at me. They told us, don't eat. When this stuff they offer you something, don't eat. Don't say thank you. Now this man came, he was forcing me to eat. I said thank you, sir, I don't want. He said, come direct, your father don't tell you I'm his brother. I didn't go there. He was only supposed to put it in my mouth. My dad was looking at my side. Father was scared. And you think I will kill you. I don't want. Things never happened in my house, my son. I had a visitor in the house, I offered him a drink, and he was thinking, my son told me he would see up and down. By the way, his birthday is tomorrow. He told me he wants Superman cake. I thought simple. We didn't have all the flavors. It was simpler. This man said, do you know how are you a big boy? Okay. Come on, drink. Come on, drink. Will you drink? My son said, yes. I was winking. I was like, Daddy, what happened to your eye? It's something enter your eye, blinking, Daddy. You know, after things were just simple. Things were simple. Okay, I think the time is up. Yes. So I don't know. Will I come in again? Will I come again? Or I need to just make this chance because I haven't seen everyone to be. Thank you so much.
If you do right back, and that was, it's obvious that we're not, and, what was the detail? That's fast. There's a man out there will be. Thank you very much. Begin with a story. Of course, there is a need to start with, a vision, and then the courage to act. And if there's a man that can speak about this courage to act, it is the president of iSI. To share the story of iSI with us, please welcome Mr. Victor Mola. Good evening. Our board chair, this is a very the board members, I think I can see this everywhere in the board. This is sitting like it can be. Let me say, Mr. and Mrs. So I don't want to make a okay. Members, executive committee members.
No,
Our partners,
no, don't worry.
our students in absentia, of course, partially. I'm so excited to be here tonight. And I want to say welcome to everyone. My job here is very simple. They asked me to tell the story of us. Meaning that storytelling to be necessary. Something that actually if you can progress the slide, I have just one thing, I guess. That's it. Yes, please. iSI, I would say, was born out of life experience. And I will also say it's a product of the desire to create a society that is largely driven by innovation. When we talk about innovation, tomorrow of our nation, the future of our nation rests squarely on the shoulders of our youth. How did we start this? Over the year, we make personal individual contribution to the career journey of schools. But it got to a point we feel, okay,
this can be scaled up. And to scale it is not just one man business. To scale it up, it's not just bringing people, but to actually identify the right set of people. I told us, iSI was born out of personal experience. I will speak a little bit about that then, and the need to build the future of Nigeria through innovative leadership. Yes, this is Victor Gumala. I'm from Italy. For those of you that name doesn't ring bell, Italy is in Akure North local government, about 10 miles north of Akure. Akure is in Ondo State, southwest Nigeria. Ondo State is in Nigeria, right? So that is where I am from. And I will not bore you with too much story, but for the sake of time, I will be very brief. What really brought about this? I'm that child that had to divide his time. Why? Being an undergraduate at FUTA, I had to define my time between staying on campus and farming. It's almost like 50-50. I will be in school Monday morning through Friday evening. Go to Itagolu. Thank God Itagolu to Akure. I told you, 10 minutes. So if it is not too late, then on Friday evening, I will still make it to the farm. Otherwise, first thing on Saturday morning, I'm on the farm. Sunday, I'm on the farm. If it is not too late on Sunday, I'll make it back to full-time. Otherwise, I will meet my classmates in the lecture theater during the first period on Monday morning. That was the story. Then fast forward. Yes, I graduated, and I graduated excellently well, to the glory of God. But then, after the fourth degree, of course, we answered the call of duty, the 1-year mandatory service. I knew during service year what I was going to do next. I knew I needed additional degree. Remember, I had no bag, or I had humble bag. So whatever it is that you have to get, you have to fight for it. You have to compete for it. So I went to AU for my master's. After 18 months, the only thing I could be proud of that I finished was the coursework, which I did within the first 9 months. Then I needed data to start my project. So for like 6 months, I was shopping the 20 PR here in Lagos and OAU campus. I couldn't get data. But along the line, I applied for a scholarship that for very skeptical. That's Petroleum Technology Development Fund. For me, if it is meritorious, yes, I know I will have it. But I had a classmate there at TFN who applied, and I knew that my friend, just like me, he had no goal. So he won the scholarship while we were still in the master's. Then I said, okay, next year I'm going to take it from. I knew like a whole year that I was going to take it. When the form eventually came, it would take me 5.5 weeks to raise 2,700 naira, which was the cost of that form. At that time, now you can go online, right? But you have to physically visit your scholarship board of your state to obtain the form. So the application window was 6 weeks. It was the Wednesday preceding the Friday that the form would be closed, and I got about 3,000 naira. So I traveled down to Akure from Ife. Then on Thursday morning, I went to the scholarship. I got there, the woman who was giving out the funds was looking at me as I'm a serious person. So where have you been? Almost 6 weeks. I said, well, man, I got it. Yeah, I knew about this, but I couldn't raise the money. Out of sympathy, he said, okay, wait for me. She went upstairs, maybe spoke to somebody, she came back, brought out a folder, said inside the folder there was just one form. Probably she had been. So she gave it to me. There I started. I completed. Meanwhile, the previous night had already made photocopies of all relevant documents. I completed this form, Then one challenge, because there's a column that says somebody had to endorse the form. A senior career officer, a pastor, Then I walked up to the same woman, Mike, will you help me? I don't know you. I said, yes, you don't know me. But I don't want to go out of this way with this one. So eventually, she graciously signed the form. And I submitted right there. That was 2,700 naira, which was like roughly $20 that time. But yes, I got invited for the recruitment process, then got invited eventually. And that was the key. Probably I won't be here today. But now think about it. If I've not been able to raise $20, there's no way I would have been able to obtain the form. There's no way I would have been able to have that opportunity to compete. Talk less of winning. Then when I think about that years after, I'm very active in my professional organization, American Association of Petroleum Geologists. Part of what I do, I go to schools, I speak to students, interact with young professionals, so I understand their aspirations. So anytime I visit school, part of the aftermath is a deluge of young people coming in us on LinkedIn. Oh, by the way, you talked about this upon that upon, but I don't have the money to even obtain the form for standardized. Then I will be. But for me, I realized that just like what happened to me about 25 years ago, where I was, there are thousands of young, self-driven, very willing, determined, brilliant, smart Nigerians that I would say that even in worst states right now, they don't need so much. They only need that little intervention to generate the needed momentum for their upward trajectory. And that's exactly what we are doing here. Now, that's first part, personal life experience. When we look at our nation, yes, in our little corners, we can continue to criticize, we can continue to complain, but we have to challenge ourselves. What is it I can do in our little corner that we bring that much needed input? We want a better society. We can't, when we choose not to participate, participation is a different way. For us, we believe the future of this country depends on the quality of its citizens. Yes, we have a lot of smart people in power today, but can't we just imagine that the time is coming that about 90% of the people taking decisions on our behalf will be people who don't just have the interest of the people in mind, but they know what they are doing. So how do they acquire such skills? Can't we just imagine that a time is coming in this country that will have the likes of my Zuckerberg, late Joe. Just imagine one person in Nigeria. Won't it be so transformational? So that is the second driver again. Then, again, for the sake of time, then the turning point. So then, the other impact. So in 2019, I was just driving home from office. And that thought came in. That was July 19, 2019. That, okay, all you've been doing all by yourself, can you just make it public? So just a single social media post. That, okay, we want to sponsor three Nigerians who are driven. We just stated the criteria to apply. We'll be paying for GRE, regulatory record examination. So if you meet all the criteria, reach out, apply. So within 24 hours of putting that post up, about 10 people, friends, started reaching out. Oh, are you sure you are doing it? Yes. So long story short, that 2019, which happened to be the maiden edition of that time, remember, no name, no agenda, no structure, nothing. But friends reached out. I promised 3, but eventually we were able to sponsor 20 scholars that year in 2019. As a matter of fact, yeah, as a Nigerian that we are, people are skeptical about things, right? Some people will come in, are you sure you are doing this for free? Yeah, it's free. And to truly underscore the skepticism of people, we only had 43 applicants. And out of the 43, 20 of them were awarded that year. And that was not the encouragement or the motivation. Now, they started writing this exam, and the results were coming. These kids were just killing their standardized tests. And before we know it, they started applying to schools. Before we know it, they started getting fully funded offers at master's and PhD levels. Say, wow, this can't be a one-time off thing. Then we started talking to friends. Madam Tolu, where we do there, it will take us like, okay, quickly, she joined us as partners, started to contribute. Then I said, Then she was a VP at ExxonMobil, you said. She was the only African-American to attain, the first African-American female to attain that position in the company. So we started reaching out. Then we assembled a steering committee. Remember, we didn't have a name. With everything had to start from the scratch. I remember the meeting we called to even identify a name. People brought different names. By the way, who knows what I stand for in iSI? Scholar Initiative. Oh my God. It's international. So, International Scholar Initiative. So, in fact, the debate on that alone, either to make it a full word or to make it an acronym, it was. So, then you listen, in a room, you listen to the quality of the debate, the thought process. This thing has come to stay. To just get a name, it took us like 3 meetings before we all aligned. Then we got a name, what next? Then we had to look at the statutory requirements. At that time, most of our partners are based in US. So we look at what is required to get it registered. We did. Then we started establishing our governance. It is not just enough to be running the day-to-day activities of the organization. Then we need a team that will provide that strategic direction. For the team, like I said, anything that is good can never be achieved with ease. She proved it. But even though she had been part of it, contributing, but we wanted her to do something more. Spoke to her. She wanted to be BO teacher. At the time I would send him, text message almost every week. He won't answer. And for about 6 months, I think I woke up on a Sunday morning, if I can remember correctly. I woke up to a test. Victor, I'm ready. I'm in. Wow. That made my day. Months, year, till now. And of course, the next thing is, I'm not just going to be the only teacher. So what are we doing? Say, you have the discretion, you have the autonomy to assemble your own team. As some of you all know. So then quickly she assembled that team. Very certain. We have 4 of them here now, right? Yeah. And she has reasons for identifying each of those men. Then I knew this has come to stay. Not just saying, but it's going to be very sustainable. In many organizations, you hear about board members, just by title. But these ones, they roll up their sleeves, they get to work. For the sake of time, but under our leadership, it's a reflection of all we are seeing here today. I think you want to appreciate that. So, okay, this is not showing again, sorry. So we put the governance in place, the MC, that's the management committee, in which they call me the president. We have the VPs, we have key operational teams, mentorship, operations, finance, strategic, planning, innovation. So we have every key area that kind of help us to power the organization. Then I think 1-2 years after, at her direction, that look, we have to flatten this organization. Then she started, okay, operation, this is somebody identified on my team, from BOT member to work with this team. Somebody like Mrs. Olugabi, you have to work with the YPC, that's Young Professional Career Accountant. Somebody like Mr. Uwe, I don't know if you have chance where our best. Because this is personally, I consider privilege every time. Same power. This one, to get a power is very good. Today I got to the office with what came to mind. Hey God, we are not working on the same time. Because the entire top floor of our block is ours. What else is there? But me, anyway, to even schedule an appointment, you have to talk to the secretary, you have to, she had to use power, don't just do this, But if I, anyway, all I'm saying, we have people who are exceptionally successful in their individual walks of life. It's a privilege. So I think a year after again, it's okay, for this thing to be really sustainable, we have to start building the scholars because they are the owner of this organization tomorrow. Then we started bringing them in as managers, supporting the VPs, like studying us, knowing what we are doing. So when we think about the future of this organization, we can all rest assured that it's going to outlive all of us. And we are just starting. Now, yes, formalization and probably we may be thinking, how do we actually identify talents? I said in 2019 when we started, just 43 Nigerians applied, and we awarded 20 scholarships. I know the keynote speaker is still going to spotlight those statistics, but usually our application window opens first or second week in January every year. We'll invest a lot in marketing just to make sure the message gets to the right people. We collaborate with different universities to kind of advertise in their individual schools. Social media, we are very heavy. If you are not following our LinkedIn, please. I know I have my elders here. Please follow us. A lot is going on. We try on our best to make sure that all our activities are publicized, not just to make us popular, but to make sure that somebody somewhere is not limited in accessing the needed and most important information. So we do our best. So then when the application, I think the application window opens for about 5-6 weeks. Then after that, we assemble Ethereum assessors. We have partners. Oh, that's part of the structure I didn't talk about. I'm sorry. We have our partners. So that's the word partner is a word we use very loosely. If you are a donor, we need your money, we need your intellect, we need your ideas. If you do anything for iSI, you are a partner. So we have a lot of mentors. We have folks who help us to assess applications. So and what we normally do, every applicant is assessed at least 3 assessors. Then after the raw score is compiled, collated, we also have a QA team who have to go through each of, especially they will select maybe top 200. Then they will subject that to detailed scrutiny so that at the end of the day, we are identifying the most deserving students. Either you are from the east, you are from the west, you are from the north, from anywhere. You don't need to know anybody. All you need is yourself. All you need is your credential, your own personal record, and your willingness to work hard. That is what gets you our scholarship. And we are very proud of our process. And that also reflects on the success that we've recorded. year in, year out, our success, we have the majority of our scholars getting fully funded offer. So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to bore you too much. So, looking forward, we want to continue to grow. We have set on a trajectory that is upward, that is forward-looking. But we can't do this on ourselves. So, sorry, 2 slides before. One more, please. Okay. So our belief is, I think, maybe it was the MC that mentioned something related to this. I almost said, did you see my slide? So, talent is very universal. Everybody has talent. Everybody has a talent at least. But what? Opportunity is not. Yes, I did all I had to do on my part. I studied hard, diligent, but then I needed a little bit of intervention. And without that intervention, I wouldn't have been here, like I said. Next one, please. My last quote there is, do I remember this now? Okay. What? Sorry? Okay, yes. Sorry. Can you remove it from slide mode? Sorry. Let's just read it together. Sorry. I should know what I wrote there. Okay, we assist, I think it made a point, to bridge the gap and build leaders, connecting Nigerian practice but underserved students, underserved students to fully funded graduate. That's what we do. That's all we do. So let's roll the next 2 slides, just to give you a flavor of who we are. Again, these are board members, and the next, on the left, are the executive member, managing different key areas of our operations. On the left, our managers. And our manager, like I said, are all scholars. They are already understanding us, they are already. And then in the middle there, okay, all we do is pro bono. The only paid staff that we have on our payroll is our admin. That's Jumoke right there. Is the one with the branded checks. Every other person work for free. They're not just working for free. They spend their money, their own resources, their time. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I want to welcome you. We don't take this for granted. There's 30 December. There is a you're in town. There is a lot of things going on that, taking your time. But you chose to be here today. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, would I say, Mr. President? Thank you for that beautiful, inspiring speech, as it were. I hope Jumoke will be able to help me this time around, because I will be calling on the man who will give the keynote address today. I'll start by reading his bio. So one that is cool, as it were. Uber is Vice President of AWS Industries at Amazon Web Services, the world's most comprehensive and broadly adopted cloud. As a member of AWS executive leadership team, OM's responsibility include helping AWS customers achieve first for their industry workloads and use cases, and drive industry-wide transformation with cloud and AI. Our strategic commercial verticals include media and entertainment, games and sports, telecommunications, financial services, automotive, manufacturing, healthcare and life sciences, energy and utilities, consumer goods, retail, and big tech, encompassing our most technical advanced AWS customers. OM also leads the international expansion and sovereign cloud teams. Our strategic infrastructure investment decisions, determining where we build new regions and AI zones, help us deliver customer-obsessed solutions that meet local regulatory requirements. OM brings nearly 30 years of deep industry experience across technology, operations, energy, and software domains. He previously served as EVP of Regions Alliance and Enterprise Sales of Baker Hughes, where he led global oil and gas operations across North America, Latin America, Europe, Sub-Saharan Africa, Middle East, Asia Pacific, and China. I told you it's a long list. It goes and held positions such as a Chief Global Operations Officer and the VP of Integration. Among the initiatives OM led, among the initiatives, OM led the successful integration of the $32 billion merger between GE Oil and Gas and Baker Hughes. Prior to Baker Hughes, OM served as president.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much.
You know, I'm very stingy with my time, and MC was going to take 5 minutes out of my 15 minutes, so I had to come and intervene. But no, it's such a pleasure to be here, and thank you very much for all of you taking your time today to join us. I am very passionate about iScholar initiative, and thank you. And in 2020, when I got called on to join the board of trustees, there were a few things that were going through my mind. And I kind of vacillated when Tolu came to me asking me if I was interested. And the reason I vacillated was because over my 30-year career experience, having schooled in Nigeria, worked overseas, speak 5 languages, I felt I was doing everything I needed to do. In fact, if you look at my LinkedIn, I talk about what I call my CARDS framework, which is CARRDS, 1 S, and I'll give context as to why I'm stressing out that S. The C stands for creating connections. And I formed this CARDS framework when I was asked to come talk to a bunch of young individuals and said, well, over these years, as a Nigerian with an accent in corporate, what got you to leadership position in oil and gas? And what got you to being on the executive leadership team of Amazon Web Services in Seattle? And so the C for me was creating connections. And I made sure I established connections, not only with the top, but with my peers and people who work for me. In fact, I would attribute my success to my bosses visiting my field locations and asking my subordinates, how is Owen as a leader? And so I always stress the point about creating those connections and making sure it was 360. The A stands for acknowledging your gaps. You do not know what you do not know. And if you're humble, you acknowledge where your gaps are, and that way you correct and close those gaps. The 2 R's stands for risk-taking and resilience. And every time I looked at taking a risk, I looked at risks as a 1-way door or a 2-way door decision. Now, statistics show that 80% of the risks we take are 2-way door decisions, which means you can make decisions quickly, move forward, and if it doesn't work, you walk back from that risk you've taken. Now, when it's a 1-way door decision you can't walk back from, then you take a lot of time and data to study those risks. And when you take that risk, you're resilient and you hold steadfast with it. The D is a desire for knowledge. So always wanting to learn. Generative AI is among us, always wanting to learn for me. And the S was about setting strategic priorities. Now, because of the call I got from Mr. Werrico, I then added a second S. And that second S is service. I said, after all of these achievements, after everything I've done, yes, I've helped people with internships. Yes, I've helped people get jobs. It then reflected on me that I have not done enough in terms of service, in terms of being able to give back. And through iSI, that interest in service and giving back was stirred in me. So when I talk about my two S's, so one is strategic priorities. Yourself. Now, what has impressed me about iSI? We started with only 20 students back when we first started. What was that, 2019, Victor? Or what year? Yes, 2019. 43 applicants.
2025, we are going to have to handle over 4,000 applicants. 4,000 plus applicants for 100 spots. So with more than 5 times, 5x that number from 2019. And for us, the only limiting factor is the ability to scale. As Victor said here, everybody in this is a volunteer. Nobody is paid for this work which we do. And so it's all of us taking time from work, that act of service, that act of giving back that allows us and affords us the time to be able to provide opportunities for our students. I remember a student, I believe, who was being interviewed by Stanford University. And the problem this student had was Stanford wanted to conduct an interview virtually. And the student said, the area I live in does not have power. And the gift we gave to this student was organizing a hotel room where the student would take the video call for his interview. And the student got admitted, got awarded the full post. So what I learned through this experience is it doesn't take a lot. It's just under $1,000 to pay for the GMAT, the TOEFL, and GRE, yes, all the standardized tests the students did. But what we focus on are some of the best students graduating from Nigerian universities who do not have the privilege to be able to just write these exams as Victor shared with us. And by giving them this opportunity, mentoring them on how to go conduct themselves in an interview, we are getting 100% success rate in fully funded scholarships, and they also get a teaching assistantship and get paid a stipend every year on top of that. So when Tolu and I were visiting, Ms. Titi, also on our board, Ujobi, we said, we're going to be home for Christmas. I call it Dirty December, call it Clean December, call it whatever. And we said, why don't we gather our partners together and show appreciation for what we have done, or what they have done, and how they have collaborated with us. And that is how we decided to put all of this together. You know, we've had discussions with people saying, well, why are you taking the students outside the country? They're never going to come back to Nigeria and give back to their country. And my response always is, every year, Nigerians repatriate $20 billion back to Nigeria. Woo! And so you can look at it from different perspectives. Some of them will get jobs in the US. Some of them will come back. But I have no problem as Mupong if that number becomes 40 billion and 100 billion and remitted into our banks in Nigeria to create opportunities to build infrastructure and do the right things. But we are creating positive things for people who are underprivileged. And so with that, I want to say thanks to all of you who are here. May we continue to support our smart Nigerian students. We have a vision to expand this beyond Africa, but the team who are volunteering here continue to look at how we scale this program. They're thinking about how we use AI to scan applications, how we use AI to assess the students, how we conduct the interviews in a more efficient way so that we can reach a much larger blast radius for our students and for those beyond. So with that, thank you very much, Lisa.
Thank you very much. Really do appreciate you. Because you kept your time, I feel like going back to this. But you know what? Let's get back to what we have in terms of our schedule for today. Of course, what's next is testimonials. So you can see that's quite obvious. I also do know that based on the timing, what should be next is dinner. It's written here, dinner is music plays. And of course, the music will be played by Shegun Bay. I will figure that out in the next 30 seconds, 30, 60 seconds. The dinner is ready. So we can have dinner and also take a listen to the testimonials. While I wait for that particular one, I do hope Shegun Bello is ready. Maybe 1 minute to 30 seconds thereabout. Is dinner ready? Is dinner ready? Is dinner served? Oh my, let the music go on. Of course, dinner is ready. I will tell you how we go about getting dinner. And shortly after that, we'll get to the testimonials because this is very important. Because impact is best marked by the lives that are touched. And so tonight we will hear from those who have been positively impacted by iSI. But let's figure out dinner in a moment, and I'll be right back to tell us how we go about things. Thank you.
Let's get more interactions.
We pray. Or dedicate information. I saw you. Yeah. I travel each day. I need my heart.
Get something.
More than I can just I know I see I physically
Yeah, I've been seen them here or outside.
No, they're drinking their blood. So the testimonial evidence will be showing why they're having it so that we can maximize time.
I set free, free. I think for me, I for the wonderful boy.
So they having dinner now. So why they have dinner? I'm getting down. Save your battery. It's coming. It's coming. It's happening. Get out.
All of the rainbows too pretty in the sky. I was so worry about shaking hands. Really say I hear babies cry.
Manage that for now. I don't try. I'll try the best. Anna. Right. Stop it. Are you born? That guy. That's okay. Wait down. The lights. Okay, wait, make I bring up. You have lights.
I was saying that you're editing now.
Wait, let me bring it. There you go. There you go.
So it's for you now, because that is dark.
Now get them. The girl is outside. Not on.
I want to go.
No, change. You need the white color.
Does anybody have an
Because I know it's slow, so that you can catch what you can catch as soon as possible. Hey, I was saying that the fog, of course, now because of the cold. I just go. Get what you can do. You're looking for
no? Somebody asked maybe
why?
I wanted to pick a particular shot like this.
Wider lens. Snapchat. Yeah.
I'll just
Yes. So maybe we'll come back.
That's better.
When I was just a little boy, and asked my what would I be? It's what she said. Yes, and I see love. Whatever would be. It's when I was just a little boy, I asked my body, what would I be? Will I be accepted? That's what she said to me. Whatever will be. It's lost. Yes. Whatever will be. People to see you. It's lost. Oh, people. It's lost. Oh, people. It's around. Oh, people.
Maybe the dad marked it down. Most likely. Okay, we pump, something pump. And the press. Omi wà lókè gan, ó ti ń lọ sókè tẹ́lẹ̀, ẹ̀wọ̀n táwọn kìnìún yẹn connect, wọ́n á connect ẹ̀ pápálẹ̀. So, because of the infiltration, ẹ bá parí infiltration yẹn, lómi á ṣẹ̀ wá pump lọ sókè. Because the water was going up straight. Yes, sir.
Connected. Sorry. Someone get it. That's so they'll soon be doing testimonials. Yeah, okay. It's part of the contribution, my bro.
Contribution.
Yes.
Contract.
We do it for the Lord. We do it for the Lord.
You will not borrow this one.
There you go. I beg. Get. I'd say you still know the use of it. I beg.
For now.
Please, thank you.
Also, you will stress and just on one side.
Shit. You know they stand straight. Alpha, if you know they stay straight, can't it be straight? Straight. Like straight.
Okay. That means you have to turn it.
Thank you, Chairman Bader, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I am well aware that we are quite busy. I am not done with my plate also. I need to get back to it in the next 30 seconds thereabout. But may I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please? Of course, I do know my keynote speaker would like to pay attention to what I have to say at this time. My keynote speaker, sir. Thank you. We really do appreciate you. Bless your heart. Bless your heart. Good people, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, guests, it's about time we take a listen to testimonials from our scholars. Like I said earlier, impact is best measured through lives changed. In the next couple of minutes thereabouts, while you're busy eating, please pay attention. We'll be projecting a video where you watch some of our scholars tell you about the impact iSI has had in their lives. Please do pay attention while you also stay busy with your meal. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Sam Chukwu Vicente.
My name is Esther Olivalion. I'm a 2019 Art Scholar from the Navy Force, and I'm currently a third year PhD candidate in geosciences at the UNFA, where my research focuses on groundwater sustainability, climate variability, and community resilience in the USA.
Beyond the projects and activities, the true mayor of our work at iScholar initiative lies in our scholars. Listen now as iScholars from the past 7 cohorts offer their impact-revealing testimonials, detailing their
Hello, I'm Gift Model. I'm currently a PhD candidate in chemical engineering at Texas Tech University. And I want to say iSI has really been a very big part of my journey coming here. I still remember the day I got the mail that I was part of the iSI Scholars in 2021. If my memory serves me right, I think it was 7 May 2021 when the list was released on LinkedIn. It was the Monday morning. I was still a core member serving in Kebbi State in the northwestern part of Nigeria. I remember the joy on my face, how excited I was because for me, that represented that my dream was coming to a reality. It was a combination of a lot of days of hard work and all of the whole thing. And I just saw that as an answered prayer, as I was so excited. And the truth is, yeah, it's been a journey and it would have not been possible without iSI. iSI helped to pay for my fee, my TOEFL, my GRE, and some of the application fees to some of the universities I applied to. Beyond that, iSI also gave me mentorship. I remember during that time we were connected to mentors, people that won the iSI before us, or the iSI scholarship before us, and they gave their time to see that we would learn. And even when we came over to the US, we are also connected to career mentors and people in the industry and some other persons or some other scholars who have been here before us. And they really made it easy for me because connecting with them, getting to know them, getting to know their struggles and everything about life really guided me. Even in 2023, I remember we also had an iSI meetup in Houston. I went there and it was also a great time to see many board members and people that are well established in their careers, all part of iSI. In all, I want to say a very big thank you to iSI, to the management, to the board members, to the partners and the volunteers. I really want to say I'm grateful. I wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for the opportunity iSI afforded me. So I want to say thank you to you all. I'm still in my PhD and by God's grace, I'll be rounding up in 2027, hoping to go into the job to do some things in the industry. But I am very grateful and I thank iSI for this opportunity. God bless you.
My name is Esther Oyedele. I'm a 2019 iSI scholar from the maiden cohort, and I'm currently a third-year PhD candidate in geosciences at Virginia Tech, where my research focuses on groundwater sustainability, climate variability, and community resilience in the USA. I've been fortunate to grow academically and professionally over the past few years. I completed my master's degree at Bowling Green State University, Ohio, in the United States. Since starting my PhD in 2023, I've been actively engaged in research in the hydrologic innovation and remote sensing lab at Virginia Tech. I've also had the opportunity to take on meaningful roles outside of Virginia Tech. I have conducted research at NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab, and I've also served as a visiting doctoral researcher at the NSF National Center for Atmospheric Research. Since I began my graduate studies in the USA, I've been honored to receive over 45 competitive awards and recognitions, totaling more than $110,000 in funding, including major fellowships, scholarships, research, and travel grants from organizations like the University Corporation for Atmospheric Research, the United States Geospatial Intelligence Foundation, the American Geophysical Union, the Geological Society of America, and the Society of Exploration Geophysics. I've also had the opportunity to demonstrate global impact across 3 continents, where I have delivered invited talks. I have also led workshops and tutorials at international conferences in this continent, including North America, South America, and Australia. iSI has been an important part of my growth. As someone who joined the very first cohort, iSI played a foundational role in helping me transition into graduate education in the United States. Over the years, the network, mentorship, and professional development opportunities provided by iSI has helped me to build my confidence, to navigate challenges, and access opportunities that has helped shape both my academic and leadership trajectory. I want to take this moment to express my sincere gratitude to our partners, to our supporters, and to our volunteers. Your investment in this program has created life-changing opportunities for students like me. It has opened doors that continue to shape our careers and our impact on the world. Thank you for believing in us and for sustaining a community that centers mentorship, equity, and possibility.
Hi, my name is David Murray. I'm proud to be part of the first iSI Fall for 2019. I am a PhD candidate at the Colorado Student Bar, focusing on water stratigraphy and surface characterization. My academic journey has taken me from Nigeria to Brazil, and now along the way, I've also gained strong insights to in each of these rooms, I worked on multidisciplinary research projects that added value and helped me outline new commercial value. I've also participated in the Influence Scholar in Netherlands and collaborating with world-class people and quality research. This international with both my technical skills and since joining iSI in 2019, the program played a major role in my growth. iSI supported me through key transitions through graduate admissions, interview prep, professional development, and leadership. The mentorship and community gave me the confidence and structure to navigate my journey across continents and to pursue globally competitive opportunities. I want to sincerely thank the iSI partners, mentors, volunteers, and board of trustees. Your support truly shapes lives, and I'm grateful for everything you have invested in us. Thank you.
Good day, my name is Aniel Ubechukwunkadi. I am an iSI scholar from the 2020 cohort. I studied microbiology at Obafemi Awolowo University, bachelor's degree. And then after that, I moved to the US to study for a PhD in microbiology and immunology. My research is basically understanding how co-infection, two DNA tumor viruses, Epstein-Barr virus and human papillomavirus, understanding how these two viruses, contribute to the development of both of the maintenance of oral squamous cell carcinomas or oropharyngeal squamous cell carcinomas, oral cancer really. Future work for me, I would love to stay in academia, and I will stay in academia because that's what I love to do. I'll be going for a postdoctoral training immediately after my PhD. And after that, or during that, I will be applying for faculty positions in reputable institutions. Recently, I've been able to, secure a fellowship to assist or to support my studies. So I got that in my fourth year because I'm a fifth-year student right now, a fifth-year PhD. Then I've also been able to be a co-author on different papers, and also I'm currently working on cross-border publications so that I can graduate and then go forward for my doctoral training, as I said earlier. iSI has been instrumental to my growth so far, but there's one thing that makes iSI stand out really for me. The one thing is, it's a big deal because when I was in Nigeria, after my bachelor's degree, I applied for different scholarships. I applied to different schools. However, I got a few rejections, and after these rejections, with most of them coming in, back to back, it made me, in a sense, begin to lose faith in myself. But I remember when I was in LAUTECH 7 for my NYSC, I just applied for the iSI scholarship, and I got it. And trust me, that letter that showed I was picked for the scholarship improved my results. It gave me fortitude, gave me strength. So further, going forward, I paid for my exam fees, my GRE, my TOEFL, paid for a few application fees for me, provided a family, provided mentors, even student mentors, provided friends. Even now, sometimes I'm being called to even give back, and it's a good thing. So I'm thankful to our partners, thankful to our supporters, thankful to ISI. Yeah. All I want to say is thank you. Thanks.
Hi there, I'm Oluwadara Lashu. I joined ISI as a scholar in the first of the maiden edition, that was in 2019. That's my cohort. And I came to the United States for my PhD in chemistry, particularly my area of research is in materials chemistry, materials development for electronics, semiconductors, and even stuff other electronics applications. That's what I did. For my PhD, actually, my career interests involve development of materials design for a host of applications from electronics to consumer goods to medical applications, devices, and even to pharmaceuticals. Generally, everything chemistry and new materials discovery. That's what I done in my PhD. And currently, I actually just defended my PhD in chemistry from Florida State University, Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry. Exactly 2 weeks ago, a little over 2 weeks ago, and I'm so excited that what started as a journey of finding graduate schools and being selected by ISI in 2019, applying between 2019 and 2020, got me into the United States to start my program, January 2021, and officially in December 2025, I was able to defend my PhD officially. Right now, when going to my ISI journey, I have been so blessed and fortunate to not only be a scholar, but also to partner with ISI just in the process of mentoring new scholars, of joining ISI management committee actually in 2024. I currently serve as a strategic partnership manager, and it's been a great opportunity for me serving with ISI. What again? I really want to appreciate our partners and volunteers, those that have been the backbone behind the funding that has helped so many young talents like me. I am really grateful for all you have done and are currently doing, and the great vision that you have. Just the fact that you have partnered with ISI on this vision of raising a great generation of young talented scholars. We are incredibly grateful to you. And my future goals actually is to be able to contribute to societal development by mentoring these scholars, finding talents, and playing my role with my scientific achievements, helping to make better our society. I have a lot of milestones, and I'm just grateful that one of the most important ones is starting my PhD and being able to defend it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Round of applause for those we just heard from some of the scholars, and at this time, if you look at the order of events, the BOT panel question and answer. With a warm round of applause, please do welcome Mrs. Werriger, she's a member of the BOT. Also, a warm round of applause, please. Oh, we're busy, we need you. I can see. A warm round of applause, please. Mrs. Olujobi also, please come forward. Where we go, Mrs. Olujobi and Mr. Uwen Upong, please do come forward. And this session will be moderated by, for those who were here earlier, my aunt, also my mom, also who you may know as Mrs. Fumi Hector. Mrs. Fumi Hector, please, can we have you here?
Thank you so much, thank you, Mr. Werriger. I'll have you seated first and answer my seat. Okay. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for a beautiful evening. Can I have the lights on, please? Thank you. Okay, so we've had a lot said about what the iSI does, and I have here on the panel the drivers, the engine room of the iSI. So I'll be having some questions posed to them, and we have the opportunity to have them answer some questions that we know you might want to ask. So first, I would like to start with Mr. Werriger. I'd like to ask now, what motivated you to not just join the iSI, but to go all the way on the vision and on the vision of the organization?
Thank you. I'll speak for myself. I'm sure you'll ask me on the panel because it's probably different from each one is. For me, I would say singularly the fact that the vision was one that was simple for me to understand. It was connecting talent to opportunity and changing economic trajectories. And I think all of us have had, you heard Owen talk about it, is something in your journey requires somebody else to invest in it, to take you to the next level. And that was what iSI was about. So from get-go, I always joke with Victor that they had me from go. But you heard him say that it took me a while. Something like this, you only participate in it when you know that you can give yourself. At the time when he approached me, I was in a job that required a lot of travel, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to put my full self into it. And as soon as I was able to do that, I was all in. So for me, it was the simplicity of the vision. It was also the impacts that was already obviously creating, and all from the seriously all from the vision of one individual. So it was also a learning for me in the fact that it doesn't take a lot to make impacts. And it takes all of us physically to do something. We can talk about it. So that was it for me. The simplicity of the vision and the one that one person can make something.
Right, ma'am. Thank you very much. That was it from Mrs. Werriger, and I know that is it for quite a lot of people who desire to partner with iSI and ride with us on this journey. I'll be going next to Mrs. Olujobi. What's your assessment for the recent visa ban placed on Nigeria by the US government, and how does that impact ISS? Mrs. Olujobi.
Thank you very much. I mean, before I answer the question I've been asked, I mean, I find my BOT chairman's question more interesting than mine, actually. So let me answer that. It's like when they ask you that, tell us about Jesus, you say, I want to talk about John the Baptist. But The reality is, my reason for joining is actually Tulu, because she came to me. I mean, well, not came, but we had a full discussion, and when she explained what was being done, I didn't quite understand it then, but I thought it sounds interesting. But over time, I have found that it's not just interesting; it's impact. I mean, a lot of the scholars that are talking there, when we first met them, their English wasn't as smooth. Not because of anything, but because of background. And one of the things that we look at, one of the major things we look at is the fact that a lot of them are indigent, smart but indigent, and they wouldn't have this opportunity. The good thing is that they don't need to know anybody because we have a matrix that we use. We have so many parameters, and like somebody had said before, we have about 3 people interviewing, assessing everybody. So it's actually quite objective. So Tolu was one of the reasons. Then the impact was another reason. Then the quality of the management committee. I mean, they keep saying that they're the engines. I mean, they do a phenomenal amount of work and they do it so professionally, not because they're being paid, but because they believe in the vision. So they actually challenge us to do better, really. So those are some of the things that made me go that way. But talking about my own question, which is talking about John the Baptist now, is the fact that as scholars are not just limited to the United States of America, they apply widely, they apply all over the world. For most of us, we don't know what the impact of this recent ban or whatever is going to be. We're still getting to understand it. But the reality is, America is not the only place. Yes, they're very generous with their scholarships and, they have a process in place. But, they tell you that when the farmer learned to shoot without missing, the bird learned to fly without stopping. So, when these hardships come, they create other opportunities. So other opportunities will come, other countries will surface, and we'll be there with our scholars, supporting them, encouraging them, and helping them to grow. I think.
Thank you very much for your opinions. And I would like to add also that iSI students and scholars rather are spread all over the world. We agree that most of our scholarships coming from the US because they give the bulk of the scholarships. But we have most of our scholars far flung all over the world. Because somebody had asked that question as well, so I needed to just chip that in. I know Mr. Owen has spoken during his keynote address to what motivated him to join the iSI. But I would like to ask him, where do you see this organization going in the next 5 years? Mr. Owen.
Yeah, I think one debate we continue to have as the board of trustees alongside the management committee is whether we should expand this beyond Nigeria. I think that's one question. The second question is, should we also fund scholarships in Nigeria too? So the way I would answer this is scale. And I talked about scale when I spoke earlier on. Our vision is to be able to scale this program to a much bigger outreach, whether just in Nigeria or beyond, something we still need to continue to debate. But that means we've got to put in place the infrastructure to make it easier for our mentors, for our volunteers to be able to assess these candidates very easily. I remember when we first started and everything was being done manually. Now we've got a matrix that we use as a rubrics to be able to pick out and assess candidates. And the next push now is how do we automate some of those processes? And so for all of us who are tech savvy, we're challenging ourselves that tools exist out there. And how do we bring some of these to be able to scale and reach a much larger mass radius beyond the 100? Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Owen, for that very exciting response. So my next question will go through is to you, Mr. Owen. What advice do you have for young Nigerians who would like to take advantage of the opportunity presented by iSI, which is very good?
Thank you. I think you've heard from the scholars, you heard it from the one, you heard it from the big talk. The first fundamental is hard work. A lot of our scholars graduated in Nigerian universities, but they graduated with first class and with second class degrees. One of the things that we've noticed that goes through our rubric, because again, we want to make sure that the people that are coming through our process are globally competitive. Because that's the vision, is to be able to launch them into the globe where they can come back with some of those skills. So in doing that, what we found out is our schools are still putting out amazing talent. But a lot of them are at first class and second class level. So I would say that for most scholars and most students, what I tell them is first of all, face your studies, right? Face your studies and be ready to work on. The second piece is it actually takes a lot of work. I have a lot of respect for our scholars in part because graduating is the first step. The whole graduate journey, getting the scholarships, getting the applications done. You heard Hannah. It was Esther. It wasn't Esther. It was Hannah. Okay, he talked about all the rejections that he got. A lot of them put in all the applications, they've done the first degree, they've attained to what you would expect them to. But it's still a lot of diligence and resilience, like Ruan said, a lot of resilience to get through to that last stage. So I'll say the first thing is hard work. The second thing is be ready for the journey. Build your resilience, build your village. iSI, you heard a lot of them talk about us like a family. Because we do try to make sure that we support every scholar to succeed. So that village is always available to them. But as you know also, not all of them take advantage of it. But we found that the ones that succeed are the ones that are happy to the family that we have beyond just paying for application fees and things like that. So I'll leave it at those two because I know my other panelists are going to talk about the others. But those two I found foundational to success for the scholars that we had.
Yeah, I think in addition to what Tolu said, I think hope, keep faith alive, and pray. Because it's so easy to think that, look, my background is so bad. I don't know anybody. And I can never make it out of this country. Not that living in the country is the be all and end all. But it's so easy to give up that Nigeria is so corrupt. I'm not a rich man's son or daughter and all that. But if you keep on hoping and if you keep on having faith and you pray, God creates those opportunities for you. I mean, one of the stories I heard was one of the scholars saying that she moved from Oshodi to Chicago or something like that. She never thought, I mean, she still thinks about it with a lot of wonderment, so to speak, that how, I mean, why, but if she hadn't kept the faith, if she didn't keep on trying, if she wasn't resilient, and if she wasn't prayerful, she probably wouldn't be able to get. So those things are soft issues. The hard work must be there, the resilience must be there. But the hope, faith, keep faith alive, and the prayer, you need to have them.
From my perspective, for some of the scholars who have been successful and gone to the US, I tell them, I come back to the creating connections. And I tell them, don't just pass through the United States. Let the United States pass through you. So I go down to the rudimentary of even telling them simple things as being able to hold a knife and fork, when you're at dinner. The engagement with your professors, raise your level. Let your engagement not only be at the academic level, but find out of academia engagements with the professor. Yes, as a Nigerian, you want to go to the Nigerian church and interact with your community, but don't forget those also in academia who are going to propel you and bring those opportunities to you. And so this is a key message I always give to our scholars when I get the opportunity to talk to them. really integrate yourself into society, because that's what's going to be able to give you that lift and help. And someone's going to pull you up and say, we recommend this person for XYZ, and take them forward from there. Yes.
Can I get a round of applause? So thank you so much. I'd like to add to what Mrs. Olujobi said. At one of the meet and greets that we had with some of our scholars, I think 2 years ago, there was one of them who came, she was just seated by one corner, and you could tell that there was timidity at play. Then she goes, I said, are you not going to have something to eat? She says, no, it's my first time in Lagos. So we have some of them, it's their first time in Lagos, and it was probably their first time Lagos and out of the country, to better the lots of not just themselves, their society, and the country at large. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I'd like to ask if we have any questions for our BOT chairs. We have some of our MCs too seated in the audience. If you have questions for us, please, for the iSI, as we call on you to please partner with us on this journey. We'd like to ask if anyone has a question for us, we'll be here to answer. Yes, please.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My question, and first of all, well done. I was telling Mr. Olujobi, thank you for inviting me. I'd never heard of this before. I didn't know this was happening. So it's really impressive to hear this is going on. My question is in terms of your criteria. I noticed that there tend to be a lot of sciences. So is it purely science oriented? Is that intentional, or has it been by default? Because I don't know. Is it the design, or is it what is it? Is it accidental?
Any other question, please? Okay.
So thank you very much for a good job. So talking about scaling up, if I want to partner, is it possible for me? Please, paparazzi, let me see. Would it be possible for me to be specific on what I would like to do, the subjects, the kind of profile, and be specific that it's in Nigeria that I want? If I want to partner, is that possible? To specify the profile, you do the selection, whatever, but I want to specify the subjects. Which obviously will fit into your profile, but specific about that, and the profile that I like the candidate, maybe a female, sort of, maybe something you should consider.
I think, okay.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Yes, thank you for inviting me to this. It's very enlightening. The question I have, I think it's also with regards to the criteria. You said a number of things about exams, TOEFL, and the likes. Is that all that you offer? Do you just offer payment for exams, or do you also, is it that they have to have had a scholarship in sites that they're going to go? Do you pay their tuition? Is it just those specific exams? What exactly are the criteria? What is also, because I happen to also partner with a foundation. Of course, although for younger children, we help to train on IT skills and get them prepared for the world. But a lot of them are in secondary school and probably will be going, moving upward. I'm wondering whether by the time we have them graduating, we can also push them forward. So I just wanted some clarity with regards to exactly what the criteria is. Thank you.
Should we take one more question? One more question, please, and then we have someone here, we have someone there. How do we do this? Okay. The three. The first three. Let's do the first three. Then we'll come up. Thank you.
Okay. The first question was asking about STEM. Initially, when we started, I think there was a propensity towards STEM because those were the kind of applications we had. I know how it is that when life brings like. So when Victor started, I mean, Victor is a geologist, I believe. So a lot of the people that he spoke to and, got involved with were in sciences. But over time, as we've progressed, we have included non-STEM. So we have, I think there's somebody doing a PhD, is it in English? In English, then we have a few more non-STEM. So we're trying to deliberately include non-STEM as well. I don't see what you're saying, but I think that's the answer to the question. So we started out with just STEM, but we're expanding into other areas as well.
Thank you. So I'll take the second question that is around, can you be specific what you want to, the kind of student you want, the subject? I'll say the answer is yes. The front end of our process, though, we try to make it as a level playing field as possible. No external influence. Everybody gets the same chance. After we've selected the scholars, there's an opportunity to partner with us and say, okay, if these are the slate of scholars you have, I want to sponsor that. But the whole process of getting to the scholars themselves, that's where we find ourselves. And we'll make sure that that is totally sacrosanct and there's no external influence. So that would be my answer to your question.
On the question on what we cover and funding, as I said, it costs us just under $1,000 per student. So really what we sponsor are the GRE, the TOEFL, the GMAT. We also have a fund to help some students with travel to their universities overseas, but we also request that they pay back. Yes. So yes, it's a loan. Yes. So that's all we cover. But the point we're making is these are very bright students who score above the 95th, to the 99th percentile in these standardized exams. So immediately the universities, take note of them and then talk about the scholarships and also the research assistantship. So that's how we make it work. Yes, thank you.
If I may add to that, we realized early on that we had a limited pool of resources. And we realized that to get a very high return, that one of the areas we could work on where we could get a high return on investment was to go to where the students can make the most impact. So if they get very good scores and they're mentored, they're handheld all the way, including writing their vision statements, building up their confidence, building up their soft skills. By the time they face the schools, they are so ready that they can get fully funded scholarships. So maybe we spend less than $1,000 per student, but the return on investment over time has been significant because they are then able to, on their own, with the support we give them, get those scholarships that will pay. Sometimes, I think $75,000 or how much? Significant, yeah, $60,000 to $75,000 in terms of the scholarship they generally get. And just as an aside, some of our scholars have actually gotten married to each other, so we get to for the price of don't have a baby.
Your question to me is really the biggest part of what we stand for. And it's for a little investment. I say it's a little, but it's $1,000 a student. They are able to access all these scholarships that are available based on their own talent, based on their own. But what we do is we provide an end-to-end mentorship throughout that process. So as they're writing their position statements, as they're doing the interviews, as they're talking to the professors, because most of them are going to master's degrees and PhD degrees, so the professors have to want you on their team. As they're talking to the professors, they have mentors that help them with the process, what to write, how to ask questions, so to increase their chances of getting the full funding. So even though we pay for the TOEFL and GRE, that's the first barrier to entry. The second barrier to entry is their ability to actually qualify for the scholarships. And we handle them through all of that to make sure that we actually have a positive outcome.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Herrera.
I'd like us to all know that this event is being streamed. So we have our partners, our BOT, some of our BOTs who are not here, also joining us online. So some of them are sending in their contributions to the discourse. So we have Dr. Shea Ajayi, who's adding that he has one of his mentees taking his PhD in French. That's for the question on if we are just STEM oriented. Then we also have a mentorship and guidance that we provide also. That's some which makes a huge difference. And I think from Femi Fajani, we have students who are having high degrees in English, philosophy, and political science. So it's not all just STEM. Do we still have? We can only take 2 more.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, thanks. First of all, I'd like to appreciate the board for tremendous impact. When the keynote speaker, whoever spoke, he talked about the impact across 4,000 students in less than 10 years. I think that's something to really look back and appreciate.
In 5 years,
in 5 years, 4,000, that's a lot. That's a lot. And the reason why I'm saying this is when he extended this invite to me, it's really close to my heart. Over 12 years ago, I was a beneficiary of ExxonMobil scholarship, and that made life really easy for me as a student. Made life really easy, and apart from that, it also stirred my interest into the oil and gas industry. And today, I'm a supply chain manager at one of the leading EMP companies. And so these conversations go beyond just paying finances, dropping money. It also stirs your thinking and the mindset of these beneficiaries. And back to my questions around beyond payment of the standardized fees, could we look at the possibilities of seeing this as a leadership pipeline? And how can you establish value at the other end of the pipeline in terms of maybe drifting their careers or whatever way? But I think there are other values that can be seen through that pipeline. That would be really helpful to them. Thank you.
I'll hand it to and then I'll hand it to it's a really good question because we started and the endpoint for us was getting them into it. Sorry, we started and the endpoint for us was getting them into these graduate programs. And then we quickly realized that their success in the graduate programs is dependent on their ability to show leadership, to have confidence, to access resources beyond themselves, to network. So we actually, with Solu Drogi, actually led the initiative to start the young professionals organization, right? And these are for our scholars that are already in sport. And they have events throughout the year that actually connect them to other mentors, connected them to leaders in the industry. So they can actually see what they can become. And as part of that, they also have programming that allows leadership and things like that. We particularly started focusing again on leadership training specifically. That was why Victor talked about our organization. We started bringing the scholars into the organization to run the organization. It's part of our sustainability, but it's also developing them as leaders. So a lot of the managers that we have that report to our VPs are all scholars. So that's another way that we're trying to bridge the gap that you're talking about.
No, just a clarification, Silver, thank you very much for coming. I invited Mr. to join us today. The comment, just to clarify a comment, I said 4,200 applicants from the 43 we started with 2019 applicants. And then we had 20 onboarded, and now at a run rate of 100. If you look at the number of scholarships or scholars we've onboarded, it's 455 to date.
Regarding the leadership pipeline, one of the greatest selling points of our program is the end-to-end mentorship. The mentorship starts from
the moment they are selected to be our scholars. And that mentorship is pre-admission. So writing their statements, things like deciding what exactly it is they want to do, or being guided along the way to go is part of the pre-scholarship mentorship that we do with them. It includes things like, I don't think I can make it. It includes things like, let me just give up. You can't give up, literally almost carrying them on your backs, And then once they get the scholarship, we then go to the Young Professionals Career Advancement Mentorship, where we talk about things like, we have quarterly engagements with them. We talk about things like improving your network, finances, future proofing your careers and stuff like that. So we mentor them from end to end. And we are also able to identify the leadership potentials and the gaps that we need to help them with. So I guess going to that question about leadership, what we do is try to mentor and help them to stay on track. Thank you. I hope that answers the question.
Okay, been told we'll take one more question. We told you 8 o'clock, right? So we have a couple of minutes.
They have just been wondering, how do the restriction in visa applications for new would be scholars? How are you going to cope? How are you going to onboard the new generation of scholars to get to the US based on the visa ban that President Donald Trump had just instituted?
All right.
Okay, just to reiterate what I had mentioned before, which is the fact that this is an unfolding scenario. We don't know how far it will go, we don't know when it will stop. But we also mentioned the fact that America is one of the options. It is the preferred option, but it is not the only option. So I believe that the scholars who want to go and study abroad will look at other alternatives. Fortunately, they're adults. So even though we guide them, we don't force them. So they come up with their options, we support them, we give them ideas. But at the end of the day, they have to make their own decisions. As long as despite the visa ban, people are getting, they're still getting visas. So it doesn't mean that it's 100%. It may not be as much, but it's still there. And it just forces us to look at other avenues. It forces them to look at other avenues as well. So I think that we can't beat the policies. We can just see how we can work with the policies that are available.
Okay, I think at this juncture, it's a good time to give our BOT a round of applause. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mayor, for the time. Thank you. And I'd like to please ask that you do not go back to your seats yet, as it's the cake cutting time. Can I ask that the MCs in the building and then please come to the cake stand? Please, do we have partners in the whole, please? Can we just repeat very quickly? And we have some background music, please, Shani Bello. Thank you.
Okay.
Where's someone actually?
I just moved.
Are you okay?
Things are still a little white. Yeah, I think I went by the post. Stay. Let's look at that. Don't really. Okay, I'll carry it. I don't want to break my brain. I'm sorry, guys. Make sure we get it.
Of course, right after this session, we'll have our call to action and we'll be watching a video, a very short video by Dayo Akintobi. That will be right after this. The call to action, after which we'll have a closing statement, as it were. Thank you so much for your patience so far. Board of Trustees alone, Board of Trustees alone, Board of Trustees alone. One more picture, that's what I've been told. Board of Trustees alone and the President, real quick, within the next 2 minutes, so we can wrap things up. Board of Trustees, are you there with the President? Board of Trustees, are you, Mrs. Fumi, are you a member of the Board of Trustees? Okay. Board of Trustees and the President. Fantastic. Thank you. And real quick for the call to action right after this. Yes, we're good. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate you. And before, I know we're calling the new in a moment, but we'll start by watching this short clip by Dayo Akintobi on our call to action. Okay, let's have it. Yes, yes. Okay, hold on. New instructions, Mrs. Owerido first. My apologies. My sincere apologies. Just a warm round of applause for her once again. One round of applause. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good evening again, everybody, and thank you for sticking with us for this one. I know we're taking a huge part of your time during the holiday season, so really appreciate it. So one of the questions people ask us when we come out and have this kind of conversations is, what do you want? What can we do? How can we participate? So that's my call to action. I think you've heard in all of our conversation tonight that it only takes one person to do something. And then the impact is immeasurable in the lives of many. So what I want to say to each one of you is there are many ways to participate in this vision. And I think the vision we have is truly universal because we're all looking for ways to eat. So you've heard the number about $1,000 thrown out. That's how much it takes to sponsor each scholar. I would say that the sponsorship is only the beginning. We need the funding, and I'll give you a few statistics. We usually have about 100 scholars at the end of the day. To get to that 100, we start with 4,000, we get them to about 800 scholars that actually go through the rigorous interview process, and we end up with 100. Of that 800, I can confidently say.
Consider it a privilege and an honor. You're invited to say a few words at the.
I can confidently say that half of them could actually qualify for a scholarship. So this is not limited by talent. In part, we're limited by funding and by the ability to scale, like Uwan said. So we do still need the financing. We need the funding. So if that's a place you can help, this is your call to action. Beyond that, we have mentors. So I asked for the statistics today. We have about 400 people that volunteer to make this iSI vision work on an annual basis. 2 hours there, 1 hour there. They're reviewing interviews. When we do our interview prep, and once we call on, we don't call on them all year round, so it makes it more easy for them to participate. In February, we might call on you for 2 or 3 hours to help us do some interview prep or help us review some position statements or whatever. But we have almost 400 volunteers all over the world that make this actually possible. So that's another space that people can help. The third place I want to highlight is beyond the sponsorship, beyond the mentoring. A lot of people ask us, these people that we take out, will they ever come back? And one of the things that I always say to people is, I know in this room we have leaders of industry. One of the things that makes it easier for them to come back is to find jobs, to give them access to opportunities locally. So as scholars, they're abroad, but they also have internships. There's opportunity for them to do those internships abroad, or they can come home and do it here. So I'm asking that you can join us in creating a pipeline that creates a workforce for Nigeria. But it only happens if you give that opportunity to these scholars because they're globally competitive. The reality is most of them will finish and they will find jobs outside. So if you want them home, we have to create the open door for them to be able to come home. So that's the other thing I'll tell you. I think there's one more point that Mrs. Olujobi told me that I'm forgetting. Referrals. A lot of people have said we've never heard about this organization. Well, we're opening it up to you now. And we're asking that where you have friends that can partner with us, where they can help, where they can refer us to other people, please do be our voices. Amplify this. Because again, one person's vision 5 years ago has actually triggered 400 scholars to have a chance in life that they didn't have before. Our organization is a catalyst. We're not the endpoint. The scholars do the work themselves. But we'll create that spark that allows that to happen. So help us amplify that, because in amplifying it, we'll be able to reach more people. So that's all I have to say. Everybody in the room really has a part to play. And I'm encouraging you all that it's not insurmountable
Just do something.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Well, you're well aware we're supposed to pay critique of the video, but we'll take that right after the closing remarks. But I should also let you know that we have other videos you did not get to watch. We played about 13 minutes earlier from the scholars, and we had a little over 1 hour. So we'll have that on our social media pages. That's on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and the likes. iScholar Initiative. That's the page. And for the closing remarks, please welcome Mrs.
Thank you. One of the things we try and do as part of our regular meetings is to make sure that we work within the time commitment we've given. We're about 4 minutes over. We'll probably be about a few more minutes, but I apologize for that upfront. So this is actually a vote of thanks, and on behalf of iScholar, our scholars, the management committee, and the board of trustees, I want to extend a heartfelt thanks to each of you for spending your valuable time with us today. We recognize that many important events and responsibilities are out there, like the your festival, the Dirty December, relatives and others asking for your time. So for you to choose to be here is it makes it clear to us that it's something that you have prioritized, and we do not take it for granted. Thank you very much. We're truly grateful that you chose to join us this evening. We hope that you've embraced the iScholar vision and spirit. We also hope that you have caught the fire that makes us do what we do. We look forward to engaging and collaborating with you in the future. Please feel free to reach out to any of us if you need any other information. So as we conclude, I want to wish you a joyful remainder of 2025 and a truly blessed 2026 in Jesus' name. Thank you very much.
Of course, thank you for staying with us up till this point. You know that the question is not whether this initiative matters. The question is, how do we sustain it? So ladies and gentlemen, once again, on behalf of iSI, I say thank you for being a part of this program and enjoy the rest of your evening. At a moment, for about 5 minutes thereabout, we're playing a short video. Of course, you can interact while also listening. Enjoy your evening.
Consider it a privilege and an honor to be invited to say a few words at the executive reception of the International Students Initiative, that are known as iScholar, acronym as iSI. Well, I said that it's a pleasure and an honor, because I'm actually proud to be associated with such a wonderful initiative and seek to broaden educational opportunity for youth all across Africa. So a big kudos to Mr. Obemola, who initiated the idea and saw it through all the way to formalizing it into a non-profit organization, and has, I think, since 2019, has spearheaded loads of open doors to African youths, especially Nigerians, in the pursuit of better educational opportunities. What iSI aims to do, basically, which I'm sure you're all aware of, is to bridge the funding gap in terms of access to advanced education, to postgraduate education in foreign institutions for Nigerian and other African youth. We are aware, especially based on the exchange rate between the Naira and the dollar and many other African currencies and the dollar, simple things like application fees, exam fees, for any Nigerian student to want to go and study in the United States for a postgraduate degree, they would need to take various exams other than the application fee. There's a test of English as a foreign language, which is known as TOEFL. GRE, which is a graduate record exam. There's even GMAT for those who want to study business administration and get an MBA. All of these exams are not cheap. And sometimes, even when the potential of scholarship exists, just the ability to go through the process, just the financial requirements to go through the process, applying, qualifying, getting documents, sometimes inhibits potential applicants from being able to pursue their degree. That's why iSI tries to bridge that gap. And there's government just is sponsored to for all the prerequisites to pursue.
Okay, so
education. And it doesn't stop just there. iSI then provides mentorship. Many of those who are going through academic programs as a result of iSI. Such organizations should exist. We are going to have done so much anti-innovation sentiment in the country. Until we're all around, the United States of America, it's going to be placed into restrictions. And they do, they have it from Germany, they will be very safe to say it now. And we're going to keep this. And so we have many of these new processes in the new context. And the patient situation changing over the next decade. And given us a bunch of that, we don't really get the conservative education work like that. So many people in code, so you get if you don't look at that, you can see the organizations like Yes, I'm floating to make this dream continue for Nigerian youth. We understand the challenge
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call our beauty chair again because she actually wanted to share. I know that a lot of people are fired up and they would like to contribute no matter how big or how small. So she's going to tell us how we're going to. Tolu. She's American. She doesn't like talking about money. I'm Nigerian. I talk about money.
So, my apologies, everybody. What you're saying in the back was a slide that was supposed to be there when I was talking, and it wasn't. So these are the ways in which you can contribute monitoring the support us. I talked about contributions monitoring, and I talked about the dollar basis for each scholar, but truly anything you can give out. So we have Naira accounts that you can contribute through, and if you can do dollars, that's fine. There are two other opportunities that somebody actually pointed out to me. We are looking for corporate sponsorship because the individual sponsorships have carried us this far. I think to scale, we're going to need to tap into corporate organizations. So that is that good enough?
It's not good enough, but you will have to do. Please, can you all bring out your phones? Please bring out your phones, and take a picture. Please bring out your. I can't see the phones out. Please bring out. We need money. So no, yeah, I'm American. We need money. It takes money. Yeah. We need approximately $1,000 per scholar. But even if it's $100 we can do, or even if it's 1,000 naira, it doesn't matter. It's just that you key into this vision. So please write down the details. And I promise the people I invited that I'm going to follow up on them. The people that I invited, I'm going to follow up on you until you give us some money. Captain Boyo! Okay, thank you. So please, we would like you to contribute. Thank you.
All right, so I want to move out now. I want to move out. I'm going offline. And can drop this on.